was the first bass video that I ever watched on YouTube.
Mm.
Um, and I watched that video and it just changed my perspective. Like I just said that, yo, this is the instrument that I need to learn.
Today we have in our studios Tyreek Smith. Tyreek, welcome to the Music Hacks Network.
Respect, man. It's been a while since I've been on the platform. I think the last time that I did a presentation, maybe a month and a half ago or some other time, but it's been some time.
Yes, man, I remember the presentation and we all enjoyed that night learning about the bass guitar. So, Tyreek, I would like you to tell our viewers how did you discover music?
Um, well, how I discovered music was it was I would say that it runs in the family. It doesn't spread out, but it runs in the family because um my aunts they used to sing for Glenn Graham back in the day. And also um quite other persons they used to do concerts every now and then. And there and then, I used to be there, be a part of it, listening and watching them perform. And how I actually got to, started playing an instrument um, was my aunt bought a keyboard a couple of years back, maybe about 2005, somewhere there. Um, and, it was there in the house. And then on weekends, we would normally go down to my grandma's house um, to go to church on weekends. And we'll stay over there. So on the Friday night, I'll pull out the little Yamaha keyboard from under the bed and play some foolishness. And Sabbath after church, um, you know, play some more foolishness. And, as they would say it. Um, and, on Sundays before we go home, I would have, the keyboard, playing around. And what I used to do really is to play the songs on the keyboard. They have a couple that I remember distinctively: the Star Spangled Banner, that's the national anthem for the United States. My Bonnie lives over the ocean, or my Bring Back My Bonnie, or something like that. And then they had Star Wars. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. So I
Okay.
used to pick around on those songs, and there's a couple more. But yeah, I used to pick around with those songs while they're playing, playing the melody, and so forth. So basically, that's how I got started.
At what point did you decide that you were gonna start learning the bass and allow the bass to become your first choice instrument?
I was in high school, just started, and seeing the guys like Ranik, um, Andre Biza, Fabian Wright, Janai, Jellis, um, just killing the instruments. No, I wasn't really exposed to the type of music that I would say I'm playing now in this day and age. I wasn't exposed to like John P. Key and um, those type of persons. Mostly like Kirk Franklin or um, yeah, you should understand what I'm saying. But I wasn't exposed. So getting to high school and then I saw these guys killing it. Let me say killing it in devotions.
You
And
mean they were playing extremely well?
yeah, they were playing really good.
Oh,
Uh, Especially I could remember one morning in devotion, like it was really hot and Ranik was on drums. That's Ranik Powell, tall dark youth, supposed to know him. It was killing the drums, man. I mean the chops, the flams, the licks, the particles, everything. I can think about. Like he was just killing it. And you know, in myself, you know, I was saying, boy, I know my calling this again, cause you know, the man them bad. Let me tell you,
Okay.
the man them bad. And it got to a point where I was trying to find my calling, my place there, trying to fit in. And that's the funny part of the story because, I was trying to find myself to fit in the group of the big musicians to say, maybe we can learn one or two things, but it just never worked out. So I went back to drums, and drums was just not my calling. So that was like first farm there. But then you know that the guys who were in the school already, they will have been the prominent persons that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Um so so for them spot to the already there. So you now get a play off of that the drum keyboard or bass until them gone. Get me?
Yes.
I I hope that this mentality has changed over the years because
Well, I doubt it, you know. I think it's still happening.
we got through it. But then it came to second farm, and then those guys they left, and there was a spot for a drummer and a bass player, and then I was still trying to play the drums, but it just never did that work out none at all. And I remember this video on YouTube where I think it was the first video of Marcus Miller that I watched. I don't remember the name of the piece. Um,
Was it power?
I think it's Power. Fabian Wright that sings and also plays keys. That was the first bass video that I ever watched on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I watched that video, and it just changed my perspective. Like I just said that, yo, this is the instrument that I need to learn. Um, and from there, it was just, history. I could remember back in devotions, because they used to have devotions, general devotions, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Mm-hmm.
at school in the big open. And, I went from there was a song that they used to sing almost every morning, and it got so annoying. Glory, glory, Lord. And that's just a simple calypso. 1 4 5 4 1, and playing that so till I could actually play the different arpeggios and stuff. But there were some things still lacking. But after time, it progressed. But the funny
And
story, to cut it short, is that I was just trying to fit in to find my place and where, which instrument, because I know that I love music really badly, but I just didn't know where to fit in really and truly. And
okay.
then I just found the love of bass, and then from there, I just progressed on to learning. Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the first bass guitar that you have ever owned?
Yes, the first bass guitar that I owned was back in 2015. It's an LTD B206 um, ESP made, but the logo on it is LTD. I still have that bass though.
Okay. So you currently have more than one bassist now.
Yes, so
Okay.
I have two basses. I have the ESP LTD 6 string, um, and I have bass mods, Fred
What?
Hammond
A
signature 5.
bass mods, bro.
Yeah, man.
A bass mods in Jamaica.
Yes, man.
That must be a good feeling.
Tone matters.
Eh?
Tone matters. All right.
What?
Tone matters.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Why bass mods though? I'm sure there are many other jazz type bass. What is special about
Mhm.
the bass mods for you?
All right. So for the past maybe 2 to 3 years, um, I was seeking to, I don't know, the what I wanted to do on bass, especially with slapping. I couldn't do it on the six. And then remember that video that I told you about from Marcus Miller with that slap tone, that very crisp slap tone, but still cuts through the mix.
Mm.
Um, I wanted to get that tone, especially seeing persons like well, Marcus Miller, Abraham Laboria, I don't remember if that's the name, John Patitucci. Um, I have a couple other persons there, but mostly um, Marcus Miller. You know, that slap tone that he was getting was just so immaculate that I couldn't get that out of the six string, and that's mainly because of the type of wood and the different settings of the bass, the electronics overall, and stuff. So then I, I found, well, Sire, um, by well, that is endorsed by Marcus Miller now. You know, year before last, or last year, well, they started making bases, jazz bases at a affordable cost. As jazz bases, the prices are way high, and um, I said, all right, then let me get one. So I got a Sire V7 Ash White, and the tone that I was getting from the Sire, Lord have mercy. I can't remember when I plugged it. I put it on a rig and thing, and the crispy tone with the new strings,
Mm.
and there and then my whole perception of jazz bass is just changed, because I was saying, John no star, this is Sire had a lot with their electronics, and they were it's very responsive. The five knobs, because you know that you have the mid sweep, the mid frequency and the mid volume, plus you have the high, low, you have a tone, and you also have the active, passive, and I don't see this in those type of basses that much. Is the active and passive switch, and
Right.
the tone still works in active mode.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was really a plus. When I after did my research, I know to everybody, when you're buying an instrument, please do your research, because yeah, just do your research.
Very important.
Very important. I'm a victim of not doing research, and yeah, so just please do your research. But yeah, looking for the different stuff in the Sire base, and but then I had some issues with it. Um, Claimed the warranty, but still was having an issue with it. So I ended up selling. So I needed another jazz bass, of which I've been watching Frank Bruno videos on Instagram, and a couple other bass players like J Bass, K Bass, who is, we'll talk about him.
Ah.
But yeah, and then the same type of tone that I was getting out of the Sire, somewhat to me, I could get that and more with only four knobs, and the Sire had in total seven, just that they're stacked. You get me?
Mm.
And that alone just changed my whole perception. So I said, all right, got a bass mods, and I can tell you, I have not regret buying this.
So, in your opinion, the bass mods far far supersedes the ability of the Sire.
I would not say that. Um, disclaimer. I
Yes.
would not
All
say
right.
that
Yes.
because the sires, they do cut through the mix. Let me tell you, they do cut through the mix, especially
Right.
slap on the funk tone, especially with the tone knob. Especially playing in passive mode. Let me tell you, man, it's really
Mm.
awesome.
Right.
But I don't know. There's something that sat right with me, or sit right rather with me with the bass mods. For me, I really look into bass to an extent, where I try to know more about the instrument and so forth. So for the sire, the neck itself, I have big hands. So the neck itself, it it felt a little bit too small. So the string spacing just felt a little bit too small, and so the neck it didn't feel as hefty. Well, not hefty, but the width of it in my hand, it just didn't feel comfortable.
Right.
Then when I got the bass mods now, as I shared with you some time ago, that the width of the fretboard, it feels really different. The string spacing, especially when you're doing double thumb type of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the string spacing is really awesome. So then I just gravitated to this more. Don't get me wrong, Sire basses, they're really awesome, but to each his own.
Right.
Yeah.
So you find that your the neck is faster on the base mods than the sorry base on the width.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, all
Basically.
right, cool. All right. I got some information out of what you said in terms of the difference between a five string and a six string. But I
Mhm.
want you to flesh out this question some more. What are some of the significant differences between a five string and a
Mhm.
six string?
All right. So the difference between a five string and a C string obviously is an extra string, which is the C string. Some persons tune differently and go down to, I think it's F sharp. I'm not too sure. I don't remember exactly.
Mm,
But some persons tune down like a lower string with the lower than the B, um, and so forth and so forth. And then some persons, but you hardly see persons that tune down. So obviously the extra string, the scale length, the width of the fretboard, and also the height of the action. Now, the height of the action of a bass, it 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 stems from a lot of different things, based on my personal experience. Um,
when you say action, what do you mean?
the height of the strings from the fretboard itself.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it stems from a lot of different things. So with a six string, because the tension is more, and also the neck is fatter. Most six string basses that you will find, it's 24 frets or more. Extended frets. Um, Most five string you will find, well, for jazz basses it's either 20 frets or 21 frets, of which does affect the action, and I will get to that. But with a six string, the length and also the tension
Um,
and width of
Tyreek,
the, yeah.
just a minute. Do you have your instrument there?
Yes, I do. I have one
Yes.
here.
So show us in terms of action what you're referring to.
All right. So in regards to action, I don't know if it will you know
Yes, yes, I'm seeing.
So in regards to action, that is what I mean. The height of the string of the fretboard,
Mm,
and as you can see that this is really not high. It's literally sitting down on the fretboard itself. That's
okay,
what I mean when I say action.
okay,
So yes, depending on the scale and the width of the fretboard. Now with a six string, you will more than likely have a lower action. You can get that on um on a 5 string also, but you will feel the difference. I can't really explain the difference, but you will feel the difference in regards to tension, the height of the strings from the fretboard, meaning action, and also playability, how fast you can go, and so forth. With a 5 string now, it's basically the same, and it depends on a lot of things. Now, if you're using a jazz bass, typically, if it's a standard jazz bass, which is 20 to 21 frets, your action is going to be slightly higher because of the scale length. So when the scale length is shorter, you tend to have a higher action than when the scale length is longer. You tend to have a lower action. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So yeah.
Okay. Um, what about the tension of the strings? Because I have a 5 and a 6 as well,
Hmm.
and I know that the tension on the 6 is less than that on the 5.
Hmm.
Do you find that as well?
Yes, that is also true.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I've noticed, it depends on the adjustment of the truss rod
Mm-hmm.
and the ergonomics of the base itself, how it was made, if it's a D shape, if it's a C shape type of neck. Um, you know, some bases they have on the just to demonstrate, you might realize that curve on the fretboard here. Some bases have that type of shape, some don't, some is actually flat, but the tension varies. So as stated before, if it's a longer neck that you're using,
Mm-hmm.
you will have a lighter tension than a shorter scale. For example, if you take up are you playing a classical guitar, um, a classical acoustic guitar with the nylon strings, even though it's nylon strings, you will realize that the tension of that is somewhat tight because of the length of what is there. And the tension also um, can be because of not just the neck, but the the um, the hardware that you have on the bass. Um, for example, the bridge and the pegs that are in between the bridge, um, the 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 spacing of the nut at the neck, um, and also the how you would call it, how far down in the neck is the string grooved in the nut
Mm-hmm.
itself,
In the
if you
note, yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different things, but for most cases, a tighter tension is normally on a shorter scale, and a slack tension is you will get that mostly on a 6. But you can do adjustments, and
Mm-hmm.
it depends also on the strings that you use for your maybe style of playing and so forth.
Okay. You mentioned strings, and I know you are a bass player who changes strings very regularly. Which brand, which brand strings you found to work the best for you, and what gauge?
The different strings that I've purchased over the past 5 years, they're all the same. They're all the same. It's the same material that makes them.
Yeah.
It's the same. Maybe there are different type of coatings that they put on them to reduce corrosion, and so forth, and maybe strength of the string. But the type of strings that I use, I have been using, is they are fat beams. Or well, for the 5 string I use fat beams. For the 6 string I use power steel. I think it's power steel. I don't remember exactly what power steel. For the 6 string I'll use a lighter gauge. Um, for the 5 string I'll use a medium gauge. or light gauge, and then the the fifth string, the B string, I would use the heavier gauge for that, just to get that type of roundness when I'm on that string.
Okay. Okay, so Tyreek, um,
Mm.
how would you describe your playing style?
Ah, my playing style. No, I like I like funk. But how to describe my style of playing? Really can't, because there's so much things that are, sorry, there are so much things that are integrated into my style of playing. Learning over the years, watching different persons and listening to different persons. But I would say that I like funk. I like slapping. So that's my preferred style of bass. Slapping and stuff. Um, yeah.
Okay. Who are some of the funk bass guitar players you listen to?
Well, funk bass guitar players. Jacko himself. Even though I cannot play that fast,
Mm,
but Marcus Miller, Thaddeus Tribbett, that's Ty Tribbett's brother. Um, Frank Bruno, um, Joel. I think he's Joel Smith, but he actually passed away a couple of years ago. Um, Andrew Goucher, if you know Andrew Goucher, I think he used
yeah.
to play Shaka Khan.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah, and the groove that you would get right there. You have this bass player now that his name is Thundercat.
Mm,
Um, he plays a six string. It's a funny looking bass, but he's really fast, like really fast.
right.
But those are just a couple of the no bass players that I would listen to. In regards to like the bass players from back then, I don't really know their names. I used to listen to Larry Graham every now and then. Um, and albums from like Earth, Wind and Fire.
What are some of the techniques that you are currently working on?
Wow. Some of the techniques that I'm currently working on is, well, let me just see. Is There are a couple that I'm still trying to perfect. Um, you have this one that I picked up the other day while listening to a tuba, and let me just say that music comes in all different type of inspiration, with different types of inspirations from different instruments. I mean, you can't slap with a tuba, but how the person was playing percussively,
Mhm.
you know, it gave me this idea, and then I was there. So this um this technique is basically, it's a triplet type of technique. So it's down, up, pluck, down, up, pluck. Basically, that's the idea. I'm not sure as how to incorporate it in something yet, but I will definitely find out how to. So it's like, um, so that's basically the thing itself. So again, down, pluck, up, down, pluck, up, um, pluck. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Mm,
So again, but it's still not perfected. And then there's another one with, that I just added one more pluck to that, so it would be down, up, pluck, pluck.
okay. Interesting.
So that's still not perfected.
Okay.
But it's getting there, because maybe about a year ago I couldn't even do this.
Mm,
Another technique, well, that I've been trying to perfect is, well, slap. And I mean, I've used it in a couple of videos that I have on YouTube. So it's basically, so it's like that type of triplet type of feel, but like there's a rest in between.
Okay.
So it's not straight triplets.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, Another technique that I've been trying to work on is the double thumb. No, you have some crazy American guys out there that they double thumb right throat and play an actual groove. And it's basically like playing with a pick, but just with your thumb. But the
Okay.
group, the type of articulation that you can get with your thumb is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just playing a regular shout.
Oh.
What I would do to work on this is just to go up and down the just in this position of the bass, and it's still not perfected, but um,
All right. Awesome.
so yeah. So those are the techniques that I've been trying to work on. Um, I don't think there's another one right now. It's just to know the fretboard. So knowing that a C is here, another C is here, another C is here. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to know the fretboard itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
no, that's what I'm really working on.
Okay, cool. All right.
Mm.
Who are some of the artists that you have played for over the years?
Um. So Um. There have been a couple anointed musicians and singers.
Mm.
Um. Nicole Arkin, Fabian Wright, Vitalites. I've even gotten the chance to play for Prodigal Son.
Any plans for the future?
Well, what's next really is um, in regards to music. I would like to make some more covers and stuff. And guys, you can definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's El Bajuu, ELBAJUU. Follow me on Instagram, EL_BAJUU. Um, yeah, put out more covers for persons out there who like to see more covers because of work and so forth. I'm unable to go all in with the covers and stuff. But yeah, that's the plan. So you can definitely email me at kevmoresmith@gmail.com and we can talk there, or just link Chris to my number. And yeah.
Yes. All right. There you have it, viewers and subscribers. This has been an exclusive interview with Mr. Tyreek Smith, bass extraordinaire from the Mandeville area. All right. If you did like this interview, I'm going to ask you to click a like, subscribe, and share. And also make sure to click that bell icon so you will receive all the notifications which concerns my channel. All right. See you soon.